What's up, everybody? It's Alex Leak and Friends NFL podcast. Back for another week. I'm your host, Alex Leak. This is the Week 11 recap episode. It's going to be a short, quick one, just talking about breaking down Week 11's games. It started with Thursday night. Seahawks beating the Cardinals 28-21. Improving to 7-3 as the Cardinals dropped to 6-4. A big win for Seattle in a tough, competitive NFC West. It was a three-way tie going into the week. And so we beat on the Cardinals. We avoid the sweep. Avoid getting swept by the Cardinals, which would have been a backbreaker. And then the Rams played tonight at Tampa Bay against the Bucs. Monday Night Football. 6-3 Rams at the 7-3 Bucs. I think Tampa Bay wins this one. But a big opportunity, the Rams need a big road win to stay on pace with Seattle. If not, if Tampa Bay gets the win, the Seahawks will have a one-game lead in the NFC West over both the Cardinals and the Rams. Looking at Titans-Ravens was a surprising game. I picked the Titans to win it. It was in Baltimore. It was a tough game. It was a good battle. It went down to the end. Derrick Henry with the game-winning touchdown in overtime. There's something wrong with the Ravens, in my opinion. Just looking at them, watching them play, they're not the same. They doubled their amount of losses already from last year after a 14-2 year, and Lamar Jackson winning the MVP. Now they sit at 6-4, and in my opinion, the Ravens are in danger of missing the playoffs. They play Thanksgiving night against the Steelers. So, I'm tempted to pick the Ravens to win that game just because of the Ravens-Steelers rivalry. You throw the records out, it doesn't matter if you're a hot team or a cold team. Ravens-Steelers rivalry gets the most out of, the games. And the certain aspect to it is the Ravens don't want to fall to 6-5. And someone's got to beat Pittsburgh, right? The Steelers aren't going 16-0. And looking at their schedule, who else? It makes sense that a division rival at the hated Ravens would be the one that would end the Steelers' perfect season. So, perfect record. So, we'll see. But I'm leaning Ravens for that Thursday night game. But a tough loss against the Titans. The Titans improved to 7-3. And we'll set up a big game next week against the Colts in the battle for the AFC South. Looking at Lions-Panthers, Matthew Stafford shut out for the first time in his career. The Panthers win 20-0. That was without Teddy Bridgewater. Backup quarterback and XFL star P.J. Walker got the start and got the win. 20-0. The Lions had injuries. They had no DeAndre Swift. They had no Kenny Galladay. I believe no Danny Amendola. But you still expect them to score more than 0. The Panthers aren't the most elite defense in the world. And, that's, like I said, Stafford's first time getting shut out, so it doesn't happen often. You usually expect him to put up some kind of points. But couldn't get it done on Sunday. What else here? Browns-Eagles. The Browns improved to 7-3. Eagles dropped to 3-6-1. The Eagles are still leading the division for now. But, the Browns, the Eagles are just bad, and I'm 100% on board. I think it's time to bench Carson Wentz. I really do. They haven't been getting it done. Wentz just, I don't know, maybe it's pieces around him, injuries, offensive line play, but I've just seen inaccuracy and poor pocket presence, and I think Carson Wentz's biggest issue is a lack of confidence right now, and it happens to any quarterback. You can have a loss of confidence and it affects your play. And so that's what I think is happening here. Jalen Hurts could provide a spark. You look around the league and you see all these dynamic quarterbacks that can, young, dynamic quarterbacks that come in right away and have success. Come in as a rookie and have success right away. And especially when they're athletic and mobile and can beat defenses with their legs and athleticism. And I think Jalen Hurts could provide a spark. Whatever they got going on with Carson Wentz and stuff right now is not working. And they're on a 2-game losing streak, sitting at 3-6-1, half game lead in the division. But the Giants, Washington, and Dallas all right there. So we'll see how it goes. I mean, the Eagles should still be the favorite to win the division, but big Thanksgiving game coming up, Washington and Dallas. Washington at Dallas. The winner of that game will be, the first in that division to 4 wins. So we'll see, if the Eagles can keep it going or get it going. In Week 12, the Eagles, who are they playing here? Is that Monday night? That's Monday night. Seahawks at Eagles. If I'm picking right now, I'm going Seahawks. I think it'll be a good game. I think it'll be hard fought, but I think the Seahawks find a way to win, and that could be a back-breaking loss for the Eagles. For the Browns, 7-3. Cleveland's surprising. Cleveland really is. I mean, they're now in second place. The Ravens have fallen to third place in the AFC North. Shocking after such a dominant year last year. Browns sitting at 7-3. I want to check out their schedule here because I'm not a believer in the Browns despite their record. But they go at Jacksonville, very winnable. You can get to 8-3. At Tennessee, that's a loss. I'm telling you right now, that's a loss. That's 8-4. Versus the Ravens, that's a tough game, and the Browns usually don't win those. The Browns don't win those big games against the best competition. I think they lose that. So let's see, 7-3. They were 8-4. That's 8-5. At the Giants is a big game for them. They have to win that, and the Giants are still in contention. The Giants are going to be playing them hard. That game right there is going to decide whether they make the playoffs or not, in my opinion. At Giants, December 20. If they can find a way to win that and get to 9-5, then they're in the driver's seat. Because at Jets, very winnable game. The Jets aren't trying to win. They're trying to go 0-16. So I think the Browns can definitely win that. So if they beat the Giants and the Jets, that's 10 wins. All right? And 10-6 will get you into the playoffs. 9-7, very borderline, depending on what the Ravens do. And then the Steelers, Week 17. I just have a feeling, like I said, the same thing about the Ravens game. The Browns have a tough time beating, the best teams. So I think they lose that. So we're looking at 9-7, 10-6. Browns right on the borderline of making the playoffs. Credit to Kevin Stefanski. Credit to that defense. That's a nasty rushing offense. Two-headed monster with Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. And Baker Mayfield, he's doing enough. He's not blowing the game with stupid turnovers or anything like that. He's doing enough to win games. So credit to him. Let's go to Texans-Patriots. And this is a bad loss for the Patriots. This is a game, an opportunity for New England to get back to 500 and be, the Dolphins lost. So they would have been just a game behind the Dolphins. The Bills sitting at 7-3. An opportunity to gain ground in that division. Couldn't get it done. A tough loss to the Texans, 27-20. I just don't think this is the Patriots' year. I think this is the crippling loss. We're going to look back at this loss and be like, that's what cost them. And in my opinion, as of right now, the Patriots are going to miss the playoffs in 2020. And I had Patriot fans giving me shit for picking them, to go 7-9 or 6-10. And they were like, no way, this team's way too talented. You look at all the players that opted out this season, especially on the defensive side of the ball. You look at the adjustment of losing Tom Brady. Yeah, you got Cam Newton, so that should be enough right there. But Cam isn't MVP Cam. He really isn't. He's a good quarterback. He's good, but he's not enough to overcome. I mean, it's disappointing that they only put up 20 points on that bad Texans defense. So New England, think we got to write the book on them. I think they're missing the playoffs. Texans 3-7. They're missing the playoffs too. Not a good year for them. Let's go Packers Colts. So surprising game here, as the Packers had this one. They had a good lead and blew it, and the Colts win in overtime, 34-31. Everyone's going to talk about that Valdez-Scantling fumble, but just a great performance by the Colts. And where's Green Bay's defense? Green Bay's defense has been non-existent. It gives me hope as a Bears fan going into Sunday night of Week 12 that maybe we can get this offense going against a bad Packers defense. We'll see. Hopefully it's Mitch Trubisky starting. But Colts, Packers, tough loss for Green Bay as they fall to 7-3 and open the door in the NFC North. The entire NFC North lost on Sunday. The Packers lost, the Vikings lost, the Lions lost. All three should have been wins. Arguably, all three should have been wins. Couldn't get it done. If you're a Bears fan sitting at 5-5, and there's been a lot of talk about tanking within the fan base, and let's just lose out and get the next franchise quarterback next year. Let me tell you right now, it's not that easy. We had the number 3 overall pick. We traded up to 2 and got a quarterback. It wasn't a home run pick, and this is why we are where we're at right now. But Trubisky can win games. He owns the Lions. He owns the Vikings in recent history. Our defense is elite. All we need is a little bit more offense than what Nick Foles was given, which was jack shit. And who knows? The Packers give up 34. If the Bears offense can wake up and find a way to steal a win in Lambeau, then they're just a game out of first place. And who knows? And then you've got a favorable schedule to finish out the year. I'm not ready to tank. I'm not ready to give up on this season at 5-5. If we fall to 5-7, all right then, we'll give it up. We got Packers and Lions next 2 weeks. But if we get to 6-5 or 6-6, I'm still not ready to call it. We just need to end this losing streak that we're on right now, a 4-game losing streak. Get this ship turned around, and hopefully it all starts with, going back to Mitch Trubisky, who was 2-0, 3-0 as a starter this year. Let's go to Jags Steelers. Easy win for the Steelers. They improved to 10-0. No, they didn't even think about giving this game up. It was one of those trap games, but Steelers took care of business. 10-0. Are the Steelers going 16-0? No, I do not think they are. Let's look at their record here, or their schedule. 10-0. And, alright, so Ravens on Thanksgiving. Honestly, at this moment, I'm picking the Baltimore Ravens to win Thanksgiving night. I know the Ravens are struggling at 6-4. I know the Steelers are on fire, but I got the Ravens on Thanksgiving night. I think the Steelers fall to 10-1. It's so hard to go 16-0. This isn't a shot at the Steelers. They're a great team. It's just, you're not going to win every single game. And sometimes I think it's good to lose a game, get you, back down to earth a little bit, not thinking that you're unbeatable, So I do think the Ravens win on Thanksgiving night, 10-1. Then they play Washington. That's 11-1 at Buffalo. Tough game on Sunday night. That could be a loss. So it could be 11-2. At Cincy, that's a win, especially with Joe Burrow out. Sucks about Joe Burrow. Crushing loss there. So let's say 12-2. At home against the Colts, they should win that. It's a losable game, but they should win 13-2. And at Browns, Week 17, who cares at that point? 14-2, 13-3, as long as you get the 1 seed. I mean, I guess you gotta keep an eye on that because the Chiefs only have 1 loss. So it's going to be a battle for that 1 seed. And if you're a Steelers fan, you absolutely want that playoff game at Heinz Field. You don't want to have to go to Arrowhead with Patrick Mahomes and that Chiefs offense. So we'll see how it finishes out. I think they, go 14-2, 13-3, but I don't think they go 16-0. And one of their toughest tests comes up on Thursday night, Thanksgiving night. I can't wait for that game. Let's go to Falcons Saints. The Saints improved to 8-2 with Taysom Hill at starting quarterback. Drew Brees suffered a brutal injury last week. I want to say it was like 9 or 11 rib fractures, something ridiculous. Drew Brees is a warrior for playing, finishing out the first half and still being strong now. I mean, that is ridiculous. That he suffered that many injuries, that many fractured ribs. I mean, ridiculous, and a collapsed lung. So, hopefully Drew Brees is good, and can come back at some point. But, that could be a career-ending injury. 11 fractured ribs. It's ridiculous. But Taysom Hill came in and did a good job against a bad Falcons defense. But the Saints still, some people are saying, well, Taysom Hill can lead them now and nothing's wrong. They can go to the playoffs and win and all that. I just disagree. I think that was a bad Falcons defense. A Falcons team that, is not very good. So credit to them. They got the win. But looking ahead at Denver, I think that's a loss. Saints at Broncos with Taysom Hill, I think that's a loss. I think the Broncos defense with Vic Fangio show up and win that game. Then they're at Atlanta, winnable game just because it's, but who knows, it's a division rival, especially, on the road. At Philly. So they got 3 straight road games here with Taysom Hill. The Saints' finish to the season is brutal. At Denver, at Atlanta, at Philly, home against the Chiefs, home against the Vikings, who have their number of recent, and at Carolina. At 8-2, I could see 11-5 easily, 10-6 even. So the Saints got to be careful. The season is by no means, theirs for the taking. They're gonna have to work hard with Tampa Bay right there at 7-3. A big game for the Bucs tonight at home against the Rams. Opportunity to get their 8th win of the year and keep the pressure on the Saints. The Bucs have to see this as an opportunity to steal the division with Drew Brees going out with the ribs. So we'll see what happens there. Bengals Washington football team. Washington wins 20-9. Bad news on Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow, as he not only suffers a torn ACL, but also an MCL and other structural issues in his knee. So that's huge. That's, you can come back from that. He's young. He's got so much talent, but this is a bad injury, and we hope that Joe Burrow gets back, and continues to be the great quarterback that he was coming out of LSU and that he was this year. Brutal injury, and, we're thinking about you, Joe Burrow, and hope that you can come back stronger than ever. For Washington, a good win as they continue to stay in the hunt. With Alex Smith at the quarterback. And then coming up on Thanksgiving, Washington against the Cowboys. A big opportunity for Washington to get a win against, on the road in Dallas and get the 4th win, first team to 4 wins in that division. Either way, Washington and Cowboys, that's going to be a hell of a matchup on Thanksgiving. A lot of good games on Thanksgiving. Cowboys-Vikings, the shocker, as Dallas beats the Vikings 31-28. I was watching this game, and I don't know how it happened. The Cowboys defense made timely plays, and Dalton did all right, and the Cowboys got a win. CeeDee Lamb makes some great catches. The running game, stepped up nicely. Tough loss for the Vikings. If you're a Vikings fan, how do you lose that game? Like how? You're at home. It's the Cowboys without Dak Prescott, and you allow 160 rushing yards to Zeke Elliott and Tony Pollard. 3 passing touchdowns for Andy Dalton. Dalvin Cook went over 115 yards rushing, a touchdown. Adam Thielen with a one-handed catch in the end zone for a touchdown. Justin Jefferson's the man. Kirk Cousins 3 touchdowns, 1 turnover on a fumble loss. Dalvin Cook had a fumble loss as well. Inexcusable loss for the Vikings. You got to beat the Cowboys. It's a very winnable game, and you should be 5-5 right now, tied with the Bears with a tiebreaker. But instead, you're 4-6, tied with the Lions at 4-6. So I keep falling back on. I don't think the Vikings are a very good team this year. Yeah, they got Dalvin Cook, who's a beast. Yeah, they got Thielen and Justin Jefferson, but the defense is a little bit of a liability. And I think it's a lost season. I don't see, that there's an opportunity to get a wild card, especially this year with seven playoff teams in each conference. But versus Carolina up next for the Vikings, that could be a win versus Jacksonville, so they can go on a 2-game winning streak here. But they should have gone on. They could have been. They were on a 3-game winning streak going up against Dallas. They potentially could have had a 6-game winning streak and all the momentum in the world. Bad loss to Dallas. We'll see if they bounce back against the Panthers and Jags. Maybe get to 6-6. Then they're at Tampa Bay versus the Bears, who have had their number. I know they beat them this year, but they could have easily lost that game on Monday night. And if Mitch Trubisky's starting, I'm taking the Bears. I'm a Bears fan. I'm biased, I know. At Saints, tough game, even though they've had their number. And at Lions. So Vikings have their work cut out for them just to make the playoffs. And we could be looking back at this loss to Dallas as being the crippling loss that kept them out. Broncos, Dolphins. Broncos win 20-13, a shocker after Tua started 3-0 in his career. He gets benched in favor of Ryan Fitzpatrick. It wasn't injury. It was for play, is what head coach Brian Flores said. But Tua is still the guy. He will start next week. So let's look at the Dolphins' future here. 6-4, just a game back of the Bills. Imagine if they had won. They could have been tied with the Bills. Tough loss to Denver. At Jets, winnable game. Versus Cincy with no Joe Burrow, very winnable game. They could get to 8-4. Versus Chiefs, tough game. Versus Patriots, tough game. Winnable game, though. At Raiders, very tough game. And at Bills, very tough game. So I think they go. I could see the Dolphins going 10-6 or 9-7 and sneaking into the playoffs. That's what I could see. But Tua has to play better than he did against the Broncos. And credit to Vic Fangio's defense. Broncos brought it. Jets, Chargers. Chargers win 34-28. Jets fall to 0-10. Not a lot to talk about here. Jets are bad. They're trying to go 0-16. And the Chargers get a nice win there. There's been a lot of talk about Bears saying Bears should tank at 5-5. I'm not a believer in tanking, especially when you're still in contention, when the division's still up for grabs. You're only 2 games back with 2 games to go against the leader, against the Packers. If you're 0-10, like the Jets are, absolutely tank. Absolutely 100% you're tanking. You want to go 0-16 and get Trevor Lawrence in the draft. That's the only time I believe in tanking. So just had to get that off my chest. Chiefs-Raiders, Sunday night game. I picked the Raiders to win this, which was a bold move. A lot of people are like, you're crazy. The Raiders are not sweeping the Chiefs. The Chiefs are pissed off about their only loss of the year being to the Raiders earlier in the year. So they're going to come out here and blow the Raiders out. Well, it was a damn good game, and they needed a Mahomes magic. Clutch Mahomes, Super Bowl clutch Mahomes. They needed all that to get the win and to stay, with only 1 loss, avoid the sweep to the Vegas Raiders. So they improved to 9-1, but in my opinion, and I've been saying this, the Chiefs look more vulnerable this year than the past 2 years. And that's not on Mahomes because he's an elite, he's a damn good quarterback. There's just something's off, I think, with the rest of the team. The defense doesn't seem to be that good. Raiders, Derek Carr was torching that defense and had what many believed was the game-winning touchdown pass to Jason Witten. They just allowed too much time on the clock for Patrick Mahomes. And, clutch Mahomes, credit to him. He's the best quarterback in football and got it done. I think add that to his MVP case, Mahomes could win NFL MVP this year, based on his performance in that game for sure. So Rams-Bucks tonight. 6-3 Rams at the 7-3 Bucks. I've got Tampa Bay. Can't wait for this one. It should be great. Side note on the Bears, bye week, sitting at 5-5. To me, it sounds like Mitch Trubisky is starting next week at Green Bay on Sunday Night Football. He better be. That's all I'm saying. Bench Nick Foles. He sucks. I know he's hurt, but he's been bad all year long. Tyler Bray is only starting if you're tanking the rest of the year and want to lose out. I don't want to do that. A big opportunity. Do I expect the Bears with Trubisky to go into Lambeau and beat them? No, I do not. But if the Bears can find a way, if Mitch Trubisky can provide a spark to the offense behind a terrible offensive line, the weapons are there. The defense is there. This is an elite-ass defense. Roquan Smith is playing lights out. If the Bears defense can keep him in the game and Trubisky can make a throw or make a play with his legs and we can find a way to win in Lambeau, the season is right, the division is right there all of a sudden. We would be just a game back of Green Bay with games against the Lions, the Jags, the Texans, and the Vikings and another Packers game all on deck. Opportunity is there. And I just want relevancy. I want contention. I want meaningful games. The thing I hate the most about the end of the season is non-meaningful games where you're already eliminated. I just want to be contending and fighting and show that you have fight. And, there's no reason to tank with, you're wasting a dominant-ass defense. And I just hope, I've been saying all year, all offseason, all last year that Trubisky wasn't the only problem. He's not the solution. He wasn't the solution, but he wasn't, everyone's saying, oh, Trubisky's trash, you can't win with him. I disagree. I think, we all saw that with Nagy and Nick Foles experiment, that a lot of blame falls on Matt Nagy with this offense. And I think that barring a trip to the playoffs, barring a playoff berth, Matt Nagy's gone. But if Matt Nagy can somehow make this move back to Mitch and get this team rolling, all it takes, at Green Bay is a tough game, and we could fall to 5-6. But let's say we do. Then we've got, let's look at it here real quick. Then we've got schedule. Then we've got the Lions up next. Mitch Trubisky owns the Lions. We're on a 5-game winning streak against the Lions. That was one of the teams he beat earlier this year at home. Bears-Lions, December 6th. We could easily, let's say we lose to Green Bay and go 5-6. We could get to 6-6 at home against the Texans, a very winnable game. Get to 7-6, bad defense, Houston. At Minnesota, very tough game. If we're 7-6 at Minnesota, that's the season right there. But, if we, maybe we can beat Green Bay, get on a run. We could be on a 3-game winning streak going into that game at Minnesota. So you never know. At Jacksonville, a very winnable game, and then home against Green Bay to end the season. I just want to be contending. I want to be 9-6 going up against Green Bay with a chance to sweep them. Man, that would be awesome. But the way our offense has looked recently seems pretty far-fetched. So we'll see what happens. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Appreciate the support. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and have a good one, guys. Peace out.